All right. Hello, and thank you for joining our session. Ground control the project team. Your mission to project success starts with Extension, featuring project management and project controlling, part of our sign up webinar series. Extension is part of the sign up software family. Sign up has offices throughout North America. We have been in business for over 25 years. Our product portfolio includes Xflow for the office of the CFO and Extension for the office of the COO. We have also added dynamic web to the signup family, and SKSoft is under our umbrella as well. We now have over 400 employees with over 5,000 customers, and we have over 300 partners with installations in over 80 countries. This is our solution portfolio for Extension and Xflow. And just like a puzzle, all these products work best when coupled together. Today, we will be focusing on project management and project controlling. We will focus also on how the Extension products help with three key areas. First off, management by exception, giving you the ability to filter specific data so you can focus on what matters. Second, providing actionable insights by allowing your organization to be proactive and reduce uncertainty. And number three, collaborate without boundaries. That means real-time data, allowing everyone access to the information when they need it. Since I will be showcasing project management and project controlling, in this session, I will assume two different personas. As I go, first, I'm project manager, and second, as the project controller. With Extension project management, the project controller will no longer have a need for siloed solutions, such as Excel or even Microsoft Project. Your organization can plan and orchestrate any type of project, from fixed price, time and material, internal cost projects, any projects that's available in D365 from a single view. This includes multiple project and sub-projects and even intercompany projects. Our solution gives real-time insights from procurement, logistics, and human resources. And that means earlier identification of profitability threats and the chance to make improvements. Our project activity app allows people in the field to communicate and get updates on all project-related activities. And with Extension project controlling, the project controller can discontinue fumbling with external spreadsheets. We have earned value management analysis and progress reporting directly inside Microsoft Dynamics 365 F&O. And this gives you the most complete and up-to-date snapshot of your projects at any stage. You can enrich project budgets with production costs and measure profit margin by category. We built our solution using Project Management Institute standards and terminology, so it comes equipped with the logic and vocabulary already commonly used. Okay, a little bit of terminology, the work breakdown structure versus the cost breakdown structure, and really just kind of what the differences are. The work breakdown structure is the tasks. It's used by the project manager. And these tasks can be put into templates, and those templates can be saved off in a WBS template or work breakdown structure template and reused. And likewise, the cost breakdown structure is the money side, and it carries the budget and the costs and is used by the project controller. We can also create templates on this side. CBS or cost breakdown templates can be used and reused for projects where the categories will be similar. And I have sat in meeting rooms with many manufacturing organizations discussing scalability for hours, even days, from pump makers to filter manufacturers and even large water slide manufacturers. They all have the desire to make their processes repeatable and create efficiencies. These templates and our products will help you do that. With our Power BI solution, you can get a holistic view of all your projects or drill down to specific project statistics and analytics. And since it's Power BI, you can customize based on your organization's needs. And I discussed the mobile app a little bit. Our mobile app allows people in the field to communicate with project information, to get and provide updates to all related activities. With project plans automatically aligned, you can avoid costly misconceptions and keep everyone on your team focused on the mission. All right, let's dive in and see Axtension in action. I'm going to call up my environment. I'm going to navigate to the standard project management and accounting module. And here I'm going to select the standard all projects form. Open up that form. I'm going to find the project that I'd like to work with. All right, this particular project. And then you see up here, we add some menu items. For project management, we add this menu item, planning for projects. For project controlling, we add cost control, and we'll look at that in a couple minutes. First off, planning for projects. From here, I can go into the project itself. Again, the standard project within D365. All of this embedded directly inside of D365, our solutions. Highlight the planning for projects menu item, go to the view of the task planning. And then what will be built will be a visualization Gantt chart of my tasks as they're outlined in this particular project. Now, what I'd like to point out is if I selected multiple projects, it would return all of the tasks and information within this Gantt chart. For now, we're just looking at one particular project, focusing on this project and the tasks. And I can zoom with the mouse here, just by scrolling my wheel, I can zoom on this information. If I scroll down, I can look at all the tasks. I can see the timeline. I can see my milestones as they exist. And I can look at one of these tasks in particular. Let's just say products. If I hover over it, I get some valuable information, start date, end date, duration. This can be controlled by you in the parameters if you want to add or delete information from the hover. If I click on this, I get additional information over in the right-hand navigation pane. So we have the information like the activity number, the project, the CBS code, which is the cost breakdown structure code, and item tracking, because there is an item tied to this. So if I look at the item tracking, I see the associated reference numbers, the sales order associated with this particular item, as well as the production order associated with this particular item and the expected date. Obviously, dates have moved. We use this for demonstration purposes, so we're now in June. Now, other things I can do here. I have chart preferences. I can change my preferences. I can change my date range. I can turn on or off item tracking, and I have the control over all the project information. Leave that as it is. I also have the filters. This is management by exception. So I can filter by material status. I can also filter by projects. And remember, in this case, we only chose the one project. What if there are multiple? We could filter and drill down by select few projects if we want. The staffing status, the milestones, the cost breakdown structure codes, subcontracting functionality, which we enable, all of those things I can sort on and manage by exception with these filters. Furthermore, I have some view options here. Besides my mouse, I can zoom in and zoom out. If I zoom in, it just zooms in my screen. If I zoom out, it takes me back to where I was originally. Now, I can also edit this. This is a published draft, version 28. Again, we use this one quite frequently. I can edit this particular task, planning. And now I'm in a draft mode and I can make adjustments. So maybe, and I have my date line here with these tasks. So maybe for this, I say, well, this task is going to flow over into week 28. I can move that, and you'll see that the project adjusts itself for any of the the dependencies. I can also look, let's say, back at this product task. I want to edit this, and I can see all the information I need. The transactions I have are an item transaction, the quantity, the cost price, the total price, and what the item number is, as well as hours for project management. If I go to the links page, I can look at what my successors and predecessors are for this particular task. As I mentioned, the item tracking in the right-hand pane, we also have it here for what the item requirement is, as well as the associated sales order. I can look at things like product and supply as well, and inventory. And as stated, we can set up a subcontracting contract for this as well. All right, some great things there. Now I can also bulk edit this, and this will give me the work breakdown structure. So I can see the work breakdown structure. These are the tasks. This is the category, the amount of effort, how long it's going to take, the number of resources, whether or not it's a milestone, and then, as we saw in the edit task, the predecessors and the successors. All right, so I'm going to go out of here. I'm going to discard this. I'm also going to discard my draft. I don't need it. I just wanted to show it to you as an example. Back to my published version, version 28. Okay, so I'm going to close this task planning. I'm going to stay here in my projects menu, go to resource planning. And in resource planning, I have my resources here. I can also zoom, and I can see my available resources and look at these and manage these resources. I have the availability of a histogram. Now for this particular resource, I see I'm a little bit over capacity. Okay, well, I can address that. This estimation is probably taking up time that won't be available because this resource is working on the concept design for the hydraulic. So I could take this task and literally just drag it down to this available resource source to Jacob. Now, if I look at this histogram, I see that capacity issue's gone away. One of the other tools we have is a capacity overview, and I will show you that in a moment. Also, like the task planning, I have my preferences. I can change my date range. I can also change my projects. Herein, since it's resources, I can adjust my master plan, maybe to the master or the static. For now, I will leave it at the dynamic plan. Filters, I also have the filter availability here. Again, managing by exception based on my resource availability and my projects. I do have some view options, zoom in, zoom out, just like we looked at over on task planning. Now, I'm going to go out of this and I'm going to go into capacity overview, which is also functionality we provide with project management, extension project management. This is going to be a grid. It's going to show me availability resource wise, and I'm going to change my preferences here to May 29th. And I can even do it in the, right from the calendar using the dynamic plan. And now I have my week views based on what is my resource capacity is. Here you can see light green, plenty of capacity, under 100. Bright green, right at 100%. And then if I scroll down, I can see the capacity was over, so therefore it's 140%. All right, so we were overbooked on that particular week, but a good view that we can maybe adjust some things. I can show the soft reservations, meaning the planned production orders. I also can change my display level, group and resource, to just group only or just resource only. I can also filter my resources from all to just overloaded if I want. Now I have a different zoom capability here where it's based on dates. I am at the week range. I can move it down to the day range, and it'll give me a collection of days closest to where I currently am. Or I can go back to all the way up to quarter or all the way down to hourly. I'm going to go back to week. And I have some chart preferences here that I showed you before when I selected the dates. So that's capacity, a powerful view to look at it. As a note, you can also jump from the resource planning here that I was looking at straight over to the capacity planning here. So maybe you see something in the histogram and you want to see it in the chart just to verify that what you're seeing makes sense. And it will open the capacity overview. It's working on it, and there you go. So just another way to also open that particular form. All right, that's pretty much project management. Now I'm going to take off my project manager hat. I'm going to put on my project controller hat, and I'm going to switch to cost control. And this is the project extension project controlling software piece. With this concept, we create a cost control budget based on the cost breakdown structure that you establish. Again, that cost breakdown structure is repeatable because it can be saved off in a cost breakdown structure template. Let's open that cost control budget. Let's give it a look. So what we have here is the cost breakdown structure codes, the categories, their names, the groups, the cost grouping, again, as you've defined them, the number budgeted, total quantity, the cost price, the amount, and here we have the project listed. Again, we're only looking at one project, but if there were multiple, they would be listed here, and we could even filter on them if we needed to, directly from this budget. The other thing I'd like to show you is this budget is controlled via workflow and has versioning. So you can see this is the active version. It's been approved, and that was all done with version control. All right. The other thing I can do from here is I can change to the budget period split view, which gives me a feel based on time frame for the buckets of the cost budget. Now, again, these dates can move, and they have moved just because we use this a lot for our demos. So if you see those dates, that's why. All right. So that's the budget and the use of the cost breakdown structure in order to establish the budget. Now, what we want to do is let's look at our progress. So we can generate data sets for the progress and estimate data. So I've generated a few here. I'm going to look at the latest one from June, open that up. And it's very similar. It follows the same logic of the cost breakdown structure codes with the categories, but now I get some more insightful information. I have my budget, my planned costs, my actual planned value, my actual costs, my hard committed costs, and then I have actual costs plus my hard committed costs, my earned value. Oops, sorry, I hit the back button. My percentage of complete, my CPI, which is my earned value over my actual costs and hard submitted costs, my SPI, which is earned value over planned costs. I also have my ETC value as well as soft committed, my EAC value, and the variance. Again, using the PMI standards, establishing this information, we give you a snapshot based on progress to date. Great. So now back at the budget or at the project underneath the cost control menu, excuse me, I can look at the overview information. And this is just a visual representation in pie chart of plan value, actual costs, earned value, etc. And I can view this in several different ways. But there it is. Again, this is supplemental to the Power BI functionality that we have, just a small overview report. Now, we have the concept of adjustment requests for the budget. Again, the tasks are probably a little more fluid, but we still have versioning within the tasks. The cost breakdown structure probably shouldn't be changed very often, but if it needs to be, we can create adjustments, and those adjustments can be controlled by version. We'll scroll down, we'll look at one of those particular adjustments. We can see we have a workflow. You can see it's grayed out because that workflow has been approved and posted. Now we can also see the variance. Well, oddly, it looks like there wasn't project management included, and then 10,000 was added to it. If we look at one of the other adjustments, we have probably a more realistic change from the amount which we saw on the previous adjustment, with a little bit more added, 240. Okay, that is the adjustment request, and that ability is there. And again, all version controlled with workflows you define. That's awesome. So that is project management and project controlling in a nutshell. I'm going to minimize this. I'm going to bring this back up. Go to the next slide. And just as a reminder, what we've shown you today. We've shown you management by exception, where you're able to filter with specific data so that you can focus on what you really need. And we provide actionable insights by allowing your organization to be proactive and reduce uncertainty. And collaboration with boundaries, meaning that you have access to the real-time data, and that allows everyone access to the information when they need it. All right, that's it. Thanks very much for attending. We really appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you again in another one of our webinars. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.